and buses with your name on them, just be careful. You don't need to be smeared by a bus. Well, if your number comes up, I mean, it's time and you need to be smeared by a bus. But other than that, don't get smeared by a bus.
All right, you primitive bandits. We're prepared to kick butt and take names.
Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, another brand new day, wherein yesterday was the 15th of October, and I went out for walkies after 8 o'clock, and I didn't need to even wear something as thick as this. I wore a thin t-shirt, no jacket, no other shirt, and it was warm. Welcome to climate change. Anyway, though, I went walkies and it was good, and yesterday was warm. I forgot to check today's forecast. It's probably going to be warm. It has been. Thumbs up for that. But I am surviving. I didn't sleep much last night, close to 1 o'clock by the time I fell asleep. 5 o'clock in the morning when I woke up, and I was tossing and turning before that. Yay! But of course, front-loading of videos, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. Greatly appreciated. If you could subscribe to the channel, that too would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, any kind of comment, even for the algorithm, that would be awesome. Double plus good. And I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people help to keep me and my pets alive. Even though little Ghost is not doing well and such, he still eats and he still drinks. And without your people's help, I wouldn't have had food to help keep him alive. So if you would like to help keep me and my pets alive, I have links in the video description. There's also a link to a PayPal if you'd like to help me out with donations and not become a patron. There's an Amazon wishlist link if you'd like to help me out without sending money at all. It's got things like cat food on it. And I have a post office box in the video description where you can send anything like postcards, keychains, whatever. I'll open them up on channel. Thumbs up for that. Front loading of videos over. Yay! Oy vey. Little Ghost is still with me. He's finding it still so hard to breathe. He has to breathe through his mouth all the time when he's sleeping, and rodents don't breathe through their mouths except if they can't breathe otherwise. He's always sniffing and snurfing. He's just so tired because he can't get enough air. I don't want him to suffer, but I'm not strong enough to euthanize him myself, and I don't have any way to get him to any place that would do that humanely. So thumbs up for that. I mean, he's still alive, he's still doing hamster stuff. It's just, you can tell he's dragging because he's just not getting enough air, and I'm sure he doesn't feel good. But like all creatures, especially prey creatures, they are so ingrained to not show any illness of any kind in any way that I don't know the true level of his suffering. Hopefully it's not bad. But not everything is terrible. I mean, he's alive, and that's good, and I am still alive. I have been doing things. I wanted to talk about this yesterday. Talk about this because yesterday I did the whole dungeon blitz with Blood Castle, and I can plan on doing more because I only made it 2 rooms into the dungeon. I need to get further. There were some mistakes I made while playing the game. At one point I was supposed to roll for awareness for zombies. I rolled a 5. I forgot to -1 because zombies are dumb. That might have changed it so I might not have died. Well, they weren't zombies, they were skeletons. That I might not have died on that encounter. Maybe. My dice rolls were terrible. I mean, I was missing constantly, and when the monsters were hitting, they generally rolled for massive amounts of damage, and when I could hit, I'd do 1 or 2. So things weren't going well. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and editing it took forever, and that's okay. I'm glad. You know, it came out, I thought, looking pretty good. I mean, that was my PlayStation 4 camera. All I have is access to webcams. I have a Logitech webcam. I got a PlayStation webcam. That's it. And they do like 1280 by 720. So zooming in doesn't look that awesome. So, yay. But that's access to everything I have. And it was excuse me, really difficult in the way I have to have the green screen stand on this side and then the box on that side, 2 wobbly tables in the middle, and then a board over the top of that. The only way I could get in there was by shoving my legs into very awkward positions and then could not move, because if I moved, I would bang into the stand or the tables. And I had to kind of bend over so I could get my hands properly lined up. And it was just, pretty uncomfortable, but I didn't mind doing it. It was fun. I wish there was a better way to do it, but I don't know of any other way. And I'm on a carpeted floor, and the tripod stand for the green screen is light, which means you move the carpet, you move the stand, and you move the carpet. So it came out as well as it could. And as stated, I saw some mistakes I made. I do not know how to edit my own material, my content. I can edit things technically. I think I do a pretty good job technically. But I don't know how to edit me and my content and make it good. That's an issue. So I try, and thank you each and every one of you that watched. I am going to continue. I do want to finish that adventure. That would be a good thing. I also, now that I've got a space that I know that I can do it, I want to do D100 Dungeon. I want to do 4 Against Darkness. I want Note Quest Expanded World. There are other just plain hex crawl type adventures that are print and play free that I want to play for the whole channel and such. So hopefully maybe I can put like a good table on my wish list, and then it'll go unpurchased like everything else on the list. I'm not complaining about that. Nobody has to buy me anything. The fact that people have bought me anything at all is awesome, and thank you, greatly appreciated. It's just times are hard putting stuff on my wish list. Well, you know, if wishes were horses, then beggars would ride. So a wish list it doesn't really mean anything. If anybody has any cash and can buy anything off the wish list, that's awesome. It's not expected. Oh, itchy bit of forehead there. So I'm hoping that I can get a better setup, but if not, I've at least got a way to do it, and I'm going to do it. So thumbs up on that. Definitely a good thing. Passed out. Muscle popped in my neck. Yay. Past that, I didn't do a whole lot yesterday. Played some video games, listened to some music, did that recording, went walkies late, got back and just relaxed, and then went to bed. But of course, while on walkies, I did my best to think of creative stuff. Like I was reiterating in my head and trying to remember and all this stuff on other types of setting things and characters. Because there's some of these characters I talked about a long time ago, and so nobody listening now would remember, except a few of you, and thank you so very, very much. One of the cryptid type settings and characters that I wanted, and I think would fit very well in the slice of life narrative, is we have in America, at the very least, the United States, there are a whole bunch of channels that are ghost adventure type channels where they go out and they hunt ghosts and they go to haunted places and they're there and they've got all their equipment and they're recording stuff, and it's silly and goofy and foolish, but it's an industry. So I was figuring there's a character who gets a job, is interviewed, has one of the positions, because these things are scripted. It's none of this stuff is like real, you know, life is life. And they are hired for a specific position. But as they are coming there for on time, everyone else is already there, they are hearing another voice they don't recognize. And as they get closer and closer to the room, the voice that they're hearing, the person is saying, please, please, for the love of God, you have to acknowledge me. I exist, please. I have to exist. Oh my God, it's been so long. And when he gets there, he finds a young man that's begging and pleading with the crew for them to acknowledge his existence, but they don't. They just ignore him. And at first, the guy, Eric, who was hired, is just like, oh, what the hell is going on? Is this a prank? Did they hire someone to prank me? But as soon as he says something along those lines, like, who is this? What's going on? That person who is crying out is just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you can see me, you can see me, oh my God. And as it turns out, that person has been there for the past 30 years, trapped and alone. It's a far enough place where few enough people have gone that they've never run into this ghost-type cryptid. The ghost-type cryptid has never run into them. They are the final victim of a serial killer, the Black Swan killer from 30 years back. And for 30 years, this ghost cryptid has been alone. And this crew shows up, and one of the ghost hunting crew actually sees ghosts. Eric, their cryptid sense, more specialized, since even ghost type cryptids are as hard to see by cryptids as cryptids are hard to see by normal human beings, which means they are so freaking lonely. And he just gloms onto Eric, and that's Darryl, who was murdered 30 years back. Eric, unfortunately, loses his job not soon afterward. He was hired as a background character, a semi-interesting, semi-boring person who operates his camera. That's his character. As someone who not only can actually see ghosts, but found the final victim of the Black Swan serial killer. I mean, there are victims' families, there are people, there are all sorts of organizations that are so intensely grateful. But that makes the character very interesting. And they were hired as a background character. And with the other actors having more power, influence, and money to get better lawyers, they have good contracts. So they can either do bad television and keep the character who is interesting in a boring background job and not do anything with them, or they can embroil the legal department in stuff that will destroy the studio and production team forever financially by putting this nobody in charge over the people with more ironclad contracts. And since they've got powerful contracts and Eric just has one of the boilerplate contracts provided by the production team, bye-bye, Eric, you don't have a job here. He and Darryl hang out together. Darryl because he's absolutely horrified and alone, and Eric can see and talk to him, and Eric because he feels sorry for Eric, and later on, as the two spend time together, they discover they have, aside from the cultural differences from a 30-year gap, they are roughly the same age, and they share a lot of the same analog interests, no streaming, no video games, nothing. Well, video games, yeah, he died in the 90s, but they hang out and they discover so much and they eventually fall in love. But the thing that ground the knife really hard in one of my open wounds to the point that I sub-vocalize when I walk with my stuff so I can hear how it sounds and hear how it feels to say it. And when I got to this point in the situation, I actually had to choke back a sob and stop, because I ground that knife into bone and it hurt. I was almost crying. I'd have my cryptid characters where I grind the rusty dagger into the open wound so it hurts, but I'm grinding them into my wound so it hurts me. And I know what I'm dealing with. I have abandonment issues and loss issues. Even though I know my wife died. And if she had a choice, she would not have died at age 41. I still have abandonment issues over that. She left me to die, to go away forever. She left me behind and abandoned me to death, hers. And it's foolish to feel that way, maybe, but a lot of people who deal with this have abandonment stuff because you were abandoned. So I'm dealing with a lot of that. And the situation that made me just, and I stopped because my custom built, finely tailored suit of pain gave the desired result of intense mental and emotional pain to the point that I couldn't continue. But it was just the two of them. They're like sitting on a bench far away from others, just talking and talking and talking. I've gone over this a couple times, so I should be able to do it with ignore the pain for this time. Yay. But they're just talking, and Darryl just says, there's really only one thing that I actually regret about being dead. And they reach their hand down and they put it on the bench between the two of them. And he just says, I wish I could touch you. And the finely tailored suit of pain is causing me pain. And Eric puts his hand down where Darryl's hand is. And even though both hands occupy the same space, neither of them can feel the other through the interaction. That hurts. That really grinds the dagger into bone. There's nothing that can be done. Darryl can feel the world through the impressions that material objects leave on the energy matrix of the cryptid energy that fills the world. But he can't move anything. He can't feel living people. They can't feel him. So that's joyous and fun. There's also the story of Melanie Cable and Daleen Osman, who is she's been through lawyer stuff. She's a bankruptcy lawyer. She wants to help people. And though she doesn't find the job challenging, she finds it rewarding because she is helping people. She has literally saved lives. Bankruptcy help can save lives. So she does what she can and she's glad. She and Melanie are approximately the same age. And Melanie is just like, oh my God, when she's wailing. Then the first couple hours after her death and seeing her body consumed, she is just out of her mind unable to understand. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Daleen is busy studying, opens the window and says, look, I understand you're hurting, but some of us need work to get done. At which point Melanie is just, oh my God, and is standing out in the yard just, please, 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 oh my God, you can't shut the door, you can't turn me away. You're the only one that has ever even talked to me since something horrible happened to me. And so Daleen opens up her door and lets her in. And then they talk. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce or use a name, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, So we have Matt's board, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. And I do have a link for the Dungeon Blitz now in the video description for the video. So thumbs up. Val Blacksmith, thumbs up, thank you very much. Even though they seem to misinterpret this sign as some sort of satanic thing, when this is just I love you. American Sign Language, you put it all together. But that's number 2. There is Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up, thank you very much, and good to see you in the comments. Jamie's Division, son of a gun, I do my best, thumbs up, thank you very, very much, it is appreciated. We have Adrian FNTES, thumbs up, thank you, and I'm going to continue, no fear there. Big T, greatly appreciated. It's hard for me to shake things up, but I do try when I can. Executive dysfunction, social withdrawal, ADHD, being high-functioning autistic person, it's difficult to shake it up, but I do try. There is Floramu, always good to see you in the comments. We have Chris, thumbs up, thank you, and yes, I do plan on making the solo RPG stuff a series as best I can. Stephen Blanchard, thumbs up, thank you, and I do plan on continuing. I can speak English. Ryan Keller, thumbs up, thank you, greatly appreciate. Tommy Copeland, thumbs up, thank you much, and good to see you. Conspo Lopez, hopefully you enjoyed watching the Dungeon Blitz. We have Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up, thank you, good to see you in the comments, greatly appreciated. Limpy Leg, thumbs up and thank you. And Melissa R, always good to see you in the comments. There is Ben B, thumbs up, let's see, was that? Well, 14. No, that's 15? So we've got 16 for Ben B. And Robin, thumbs up and thank you. But coming back, Ben B, thumbs up, good to see you. And Hokey Smokes, good to see you. There was Robin, thumbs up again. The Shameful Presentations, thumbs up, thank you much, greatly appreciated. XAL or XAI, unsure, but maybe 19 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours if I counted correctly, and there is no guarantee that I came even close, but it is greatly appreciated. Get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, thumbs up, thank you. And of course, if you've watched this far, greatly appreciated. No one has forced you to. The great bulk of viewers always click off within the first 3 minutes of any content creator's videos. I imagine, well, I know they click off even quicker than that on mine. So if you've watched this far, thank you very much. It is appreciated. I'm going to take the day easy, probably record some more solo stuff, if not game stuff coming up, video game stuff. Yay. And I'm just going to take it easy otherwise. Hopefully you're going to take it easy and get done what you would like to get done if you want to. Otherwise, just be smart and safe for your situation and location with all the diseases and accidents and death and buses with your name on them. Just be careful. You don't need to be smeared by a bus. Well, if your number comes up, I mean, it's time and you need to be smeared by a bus. But other than that, don't get smeared by a bus. So, until we meet again, you take care. Don't get smeared by a bus. I can't remember how the rest of it goes, but I would have to, yeah.